Good morning to you from All Saints Gislam Church. It's nice and quiet in here, and today is blowing a gale outside, so best to be in the shelter. I was reading in my devotions this morning about David and Goliath, and something struck me about the story that I hadn't noticed before. And it's in verse 46. I'll just back up a bit, read 45 first. Then said David to the Philistine, "You come to me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the ranks of Israel, whom you have defiled." And this was the key verse. "This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will smite you and cut off your head. And I will give the corpses of the army of the Philistines this day to the birds of the air and the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel." And what struck me out of this was David prophesying. David prophesied, "Today the Lord will smite you. Today he will give you into my hand." Prophecy, what is that about? It's about speaking a word from God into the now, into the presence of today. And David did that, didn't he? He said, "This day the Lord will." And those were the key words. And how we all at times desire to prophesy. Well, we should anyway. And I often don't give much thought to it, and I think it's so important, and it's a shame that the church in many ways has lost the gifts of the Spirit, and particularly prophecy. We get into all sorts of wranglings about the gift of tongues and interpretations and things like that. But the gift of prophecy, to be able to hear God's word for the moment. David probably, I don't know whether he thought about that, but what also struck me about it was the fact that David was speaking in faith. You can't have prophecy without faith. So as you speak in faith into the now, God does something. He does something practical. He brings something about. He makes a change. And that's something we all need in our lives, isn't it, right now? We need to hear the prophetic word from God, the word that makes a change in our lives. And I pray that for you today, and for myself, that we can prophesy more and more into the evil times that we're living, and into each other's lives, so that we can encourage and edify one another. So be blessed this Sunday.